try. Ready? Okay. Oh, I don't know. Bro.
Hello?
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Oh, good.
How are you?
Excellent. There's no echo. Okay, so this is Lisa. Good.
Here, I'm turning. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. The screen keeps freezing. I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed.
No, no worries, no worries.
It actually might be spirit, like we were talking about before the show when we were getting ready, honestly, because everything kept glitching on me. And, you know, again, going back to you talking about a twin flame journey, when you're on the twin flame journey and you're ascending, this happens. So you don't want people to think that they're a little bit cuckoo with this. This actually does happen. We're vibrating at a large, higher frequency now. So electronics will glitch.
Absolutely, yeah. So the twin flame journey is very, and your soulmate, you guys, we were talking about this. We were saying how it's stressful. Our partnerships are still stressful, can be toxic, and each one of us have our own experiences, and I'm sure you guys absolutely do too. So maybe if we, you know, explain our personal experiences with our twin flames and why the union on the twin flame journey, why it's not always that you're going to be with that partner. It's not meant to be. Not always.
Right. I think when we were speaking of this, in terms of my experience now with my twin flame journey, as well as coming in contact not with also yourself, but with others that are on this journey. There's a lot of misconception out there stating that you're going to have a reunion and, you know, eventually wind up in union in this lifetime. I unfortunately do not always want to be the bearer of bad news with this, but more than not, that is not the case. Some don't even have a reunion after they separate and they go their own way. It's not for two people to come back together and have this journey and have your life purpose and do your mission together. You actually have to go your separate ways, and you have to do it, especially when someone is so much more lifetime ahead of the other, especially when one has been awakened for quite some time versus the other connection. And again, to your point, it doesn't know sex. It's not about sex, because we both take on divine feminine as well as divine masculine in this journey. So you learn that you also have to put that on in terms of my experience and balance at some point in this journey both of those energies. Yes. And you know, it sounds a lot simpler than actually what it is when you're actually going through it to get to the point in which both you and I are in our journeys, you know, separately. And it's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that happens just by mistake in terms of with an epiphany. It breaks you down to build you back up, to make you realize why you have certain patterns that you keep repeating, why you have, you know, certain people that you keep attracting in your life. Yes. It makes you, in doing that, you have to be really real with yourself and really have to be broken, and you really have to be vulnerable. And a lot of people are afraid to do that because it's a lot of work and it's very scary. Yes. It's a lot of unknown. It's almost like a jungle that you're not sure you can climb out of and get out of, but I assure you, and you assure your subscribers and your viewers as well, because you're an example of this as well, you do get out of it. You do go to the other side. You do wind up with a newer found respect and appreciation for this journey and for the gifts in which you were given. It heightens your telepathic communication. It heightens your being empathic. It heightens you being psychic. It heightens what it's meant to do is to help you find what it is that your purpose is. We have a purpose to get a mission out. We have a purpose to give others hope. And we have a purpose to speak our truth. About this twin flame journey, it's all learning about speaking truth.
Absolutely.
It's about dropping ego. It's about letting go of the masks. It's about letting go of the false pretenses. It's about becoming very vulnerable, which unfortunately a lot of people hear that word vulnerability, and it's triggering to a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, it was triggering to me. I mean, that word is very uncomfortable. And I understand, at times that it does make, or it can make somebody kind of, twitch a little bit. It's uncomfortable. It has to be uncomfortable in order for you to heal. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to get out of your comfort zone in order to become stronger. I'm sorry, I'm just getting over COVID, so if my nose is running, I apologize, but yeah. So you have to come out of your comfort zone, very much so, and almost have a rebirth with this. I think that's my experience, and that's kind of where I am right now. But you have to live in gratitude. I found my purpose now. I found my voice. I do my purpose with a passion now, and I'm so much better for it. I'm so much more of a better person. I'm not afraid to speak my mind now. I know what I want. I'm going to go after it. I'm going to get it. I'm not afraid to set boundaries. I'm not afraid to lose people along this journey, because let's also talk about this, that you and I were prepping for the show, that unfortunately you lose a lot of people along the way. A lot of people become, you trigger them, which is fine. That's okay. Yes. It makes people uncomfortable. Yes. It doesn't have to make somebody your enemy, which it doesn't. And you have to have thick skin in this. You have to learn that you kind of have to do a lot of this journey on your own. Yes. You have to be comfortable with being with yourself. Okay? Because in order to figure this out, you need to be front and center with yourself, and you need to be front and center with the higher power. There are times you're on your knees, you're praying like, come on, I can't take this anymore, I can't do it, I can't do it. You can. This is a journey that is for selected people. Not everyone has. This is another topic that I had spoken on earlier, in which we would like to cover that there are people out there that are under the assumption that they are true twin flames. There is such a thing as a false twin flame, which can sometimes set you up in your life to actually meet your real twin flame. It shakes you up and stirs you and spits you back out, and takes you off of that roller coaster of emotion, as I was saying to you, right? As the best way that I can describe it, it's very unearthing, it's very unrooting, it really shakes you up like no other. But you come out the other side. You come out the other side with a message and a purpose, and again, boundaries from person, a different philosophy. Of course, you always lead in love, but you stick up for yourself. You don't let that throat chakra, which maybe was blocked before, that chakra or that third eye chakra. You learn to listen to these little nuances within yourself, in terms of clues, that you don't ignore the red flags that occur. Like and let me be very clear with this too, so people go, what is she talking about? It doesn't mean that you don't love this person, okay? It doesn't mean that there aren't some intense levels of emotion and love and passion and intensity and like crazy, both in a good way and a bad way, okay? It doesn't mean that doesn't exist. It does, and it's not going to go with the love. The love that you have for that person doesn't stop, but what stops is the way that you choose to be treated, and the way in which in this journey, what you're willing to put in versus what you're willing to get out. And if that's being by yourself for a little while, in terms of the strength that you gain with it, which doesn't happen overnight, and trust me, I don't. You do it. I would rather be by myself and be okay with myself and love myself and my peace a little bit right now, my quiet work with my purpose, than have something that I know is not going to put in what I'm putting in, right? You want somebody that's your equal. I mean, you don't have to have a chalkboard straight across, straight down the line and say, I do this, he does that, or she does this, he did that. No, it's not about that. But at some point, you want that's your equal. You don't want somebody taking from you because they see you as an equal, but yet they're not meeting you in the middle. It's about cutting through the BS. It's about cutting through the games. It's about not putting up with, like, to your point, the ego, the love bomb, the ghosting, the gaslighting, the crumbs, putting you on a back burner, okay, or putting you on a shelf, temporarily shelving you and taking you out of the game, coming back and giving you enough temporarily that they know that let's give her a little crumb, let's give him a little crumb, let's go back to this. No, you don't know, no human being, regardless of label, soulmate, soul flame, twin flame, no one deserves to be treated as somebody else's option. You should be their first and only priority, period. That's how I see it, and I know that's how you see it as well. So it's unfortunate to get to that point, how much you have to be broken down, and how much you really have to be, like, I don't know if you could, you feel you don't know if you could go on. I don't know how your experience was, or if you want to share some of your experience with this as well.
First off, a lot of the viewers on TikTok are commenting, and they're saying, like, Jacqueline is completely she says that she understands with what you're saying. She understands where she is at her point of the journey. And also Kira had mentioned that this rune has very much everything. What was it that you wrote? I'd like to read that again for you. Kira said that this rune here coming out makes a lot of sense. This death, this rebirth. Also, the victory. It says victory, success, but death and rebirth is a brand new beginning. This rune is about, Kira says, what is your name and who do you love? And honestly, it should be yourself. The twin flame journey, my experience as well, it's about loving yourself, about channeling your love, your connection. You love yourself, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right, you put it back to yourself and the higher power.
Right.
You put it back to God and you put it back to yourself. People are like, well, could you get through? And honestly, if you had asked me this 3 months ago, if you had asked me this in the beginning of the summer, if you had asked me this, I told you this, I was very transparent with this. If you had asked me about this journey back in the winter, earlier in this year, February or March, I said, there's no possible way I could do this. Yes, you can do it. And yes, that's, you gotta stay a little at the bottom, like, in a scary way, I'm not gonna lie. It's very, very scary. It's very, very dark. But you have to stay there a little while in order to realize what it is that you're going to actually get out of this when you climb back out, right? A lot of these twin flame connections, and not that people aren't, there's a lot of good people in twin flame connections. They're broken, right? They have, past life karmic ties that they have to clear. Or they have trauma bonds from childhood that they have to clear, and they have a soul by contract in which they have to live out in this lifetime. The further you go along in this journey, at least for me, the more you find out about what it is about your connection and and I also want to point out though about triggers. When they trigger you, okay, that's not their responsibility to figure out why they trigger you. That's your responsibility to figure out why they trigger you, and vice versa. It's your responsibility to fix that trigger. And the more triggers there are, that usually means like to your point, there's a karmic tie, there's a trauma bond. My whole journey with my twin, unfortunately, it has a karmic tie to it, a trauma bond attached to it, a previous life soul contract has to be lived out, as well as narcissistic tendencies. So, in a nutshell, on top of having to go through the twin flame connection, or not, or separate, or not, or actually, you have to do the work independently from each other. And if the person is engaged about you, they are going to put in that time, and they are going to put in that work, and you are going to see forward momentum. You are going to see a change in their behavior. What you have to watch out for is the actions match the words, because a lot of twin flames that I know of, yourself included, in terms of talking about the red flags, one of the red flags you have to watch out for is they could potentially overpromise you the world, but do they deliver? Right. Or they could flip-flop back and forth on their words of how it is they choose to say something to you. And unfortunately, as well as a lot of twin flames that I know going through this, there is a player tendency in one of the parties, whether it's the woman that's the player, the man that's the player, or if it's a gay couple, you know, one is a player versus the other. Right. So unfortunately, you have to deal with those as well, in terms of them learning how to get out of their head, which is control. With ego is controlled in their mind, right? Mm-hmm. So you quiet that, and you actually do shadow work, and you actually go through the different stages and the different phases of this journey, and you let the universe dictate this to you, as well as you doing your shadow work, as well as you, well, I guess, never completely give up faith. I'm working on, listen, I'm not perfect with this by any stretch of the imagination. I'm working on regaining my faith, because I lost that in the process. I lost almost everything with this. I almost lost my life. Okay, so we have to be very clear with this when we talk about it. There are a lot of people that are on this journey that are just like, I hit rock bottom with my depression and I don't want to move forward. I can't do this anymore. And it's not to put on the other person, because again, honestly, that's not their responsibility. They triggered you into that. That's your responsibility to figure out in your role in this journey what it is for you that you have to go in and fix. You can't put it on the other person in this, because, you know, most of the time you're at different levels with this anyway. So you can't do that. And there are some that are not aware that they have a twin flame, or it's never openly discussed. Some have said it to their twin, some have not said it to their twin. Some think their twin knows, but never openly said, you know what, I think I want to tell you something. I think you may or may not be my twin flame. Right. You know, how do you feel about that? Or, you know, listen, there's mixed things with that too, because I know people that have said that to their twin, and their experience has been twin has run. The twin has like completely freaked out because they don't understand what it is. They're like, what the heck is it? Like they ranked it. I mean, it was like talk about run, Forrest, run. So I would say that if you're going to this effect, it depends on both of where you are in the journey. I don't want to discourage anyone from saying it or not. That's a very personal to say, because a lot of people are just like, what does that mean? Like, I had no clue until I realized that this journey that I was on was different. Like, why? And I'm like, why is this different? Why does this feel different? Like, let me research this. You know, am I okay? Like, is there something going on with me? And it's pretty wild. It's shadow work is a big deal. Shadow work, this is, you have to do it consistently every day, and it's hard. It's really, really hard, because you're like, what is this shadow work, and what is this candle, what does this crystal mean, and what are these frequencies, and I have to ground myself, and I have to do salt bath. Like, at first, when you're naive to it, you're just like, but what does this mean? Like, I don't understand. Is this really going to help me? Actually, to somebody that once said that, it does help you. It helps you a lot. It helps to center you. It helps you to get back to basics. It puts the faith in yourself, in your twin, and in God, you know, back into the journey. So it's very, very important.
Yeah, being with Source, taking the time to heal with Source, heal yourself, your soul. Oh my God. The twin flame journey is painful. And those that say that they're with their twin, absolutely.
Very, very painful because it's like a death. It's a death.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you're relearning, I'm sorry, I have to get my charger. You're relearning yourself over again. It's a rebirth, actually, because part of you, in a way, part of you is dying. Part of you is no longer there, and it's a rebirth to be a better version of you. Like the good parts of you that already existed are going to come back, right? The ones that are going to help to ground this journey are going to always stay. You're going to get those little glimmers of your old self back. I don't want people to be like, oh my God, that's never going to happen. That's not true. Your greatest strengths, you're always going to get back. Your greatest attributes, you're always going to get back. But what's going to happen is everything's going to be so much more heightened and so much more amplified, I think. Like, I don't know how you feel, and I don't know about how the viewers feel about it. I mean, I'm looking at some of the comments now.
Yes.
I don't know, if
they're absolutely resonating.
How do they feel about it? But
well, Kira says here, that's where the integration comes in. Reintroduce yourself, and that's the shadow work. Well, who are you? This twin flame connection is meant to rock you, shake you, and wake you up. And yes, absolutely trigger. Oh my God. We're supposed to trigger each other.
Trigger everything. Like, they trigger you by the way they blink. They trigger you by the way they blow their nose, or the way that they sneeze, or if they jump because they get scared or something and they like twig. They trigger you with like the tiniest things before they start triggering you with like the larger things that actually have to matter and should matter and do matter in order to get you through this journey. Like, I mean, even the physical changes in which you go through on this, the way that it ages you.
Yes.
You lose weight. You lose weight for a while. Some people gain weight. People do it in reverse. They gain weight, then they lose weight. Some people lose their hair. Right? Some people, their face in a matter of 8 months, during the hardest parts of the journey, in a matter of 6 to 8 months, their face ages by 5 years. And it's not because they're not taking care of themselves. It's just the amount of effort and the amount of stress that you have to have, and the amount of discipline. It teaches you discipline. It teaches you patience.
Yes.
It helps you to see exactly how strong and resilient you actually are.
Absolutely.
But the whole point with this is a lot of the journeys in the twin flame, you're not going to come back. You're not going to come back together in unity. You have to do this journey by yourself. It's free will also that comes along with this journey, as well as your energy. Energy is fluid, as we all know. You have free will at any time to say, you know what? I can't do this anymore. That's what I did with me. I'm like, you know what? I got some of the closure I needed right now. There's still triggering aspects. So it's like, why do I keep wanting us to trigger each other if it can't move forward? You know what I mean? In a productive way. Like, you're gonna know, I think, in terms of your intuition, even if, you see them around, or there's synchronicities, or you bump into each other, you're gonna kind of know at a point, and don't ignore it, because that can be a red flag too. You're gonna know, no, they're not ready.
Right.
No, I don't think I'm ready. It's gonna flip-flop. Like, this whole journey, it flip-flops. It goes back and forth. The runner becomes the chaser. The chaser becomes the runner. It's gonna go back. It's gonna go back and forth. You're gonna ghost each other. You're gonna piss each other off. You're gonna wind up dating other people. You're gonna post something that's gonna trigger them that you're gonna hear about like 6 months out. That, oh, you know, you posted this and it really pissed me off because I thought that it was about me. Again, that's not on you to figure out why you may or may not trigger them. It's not on them to figure it out with you. It's about going within and fixing what needs to be fixed, which is you. Which is the trauma bond, which is the karmic, which is all of these broken things. And let's be honest, some of these things have occurred for generations, right? Because twin flames connect from centuries and centuries ago, and previous lives and previous lives and previous lives. So it's pretty incredible. I'm getting through my end of the bargain. Like, I'm holding up my end of the bargain. When you get other empaths that are around you and then you feel it, and people are like, you know what, you're further along in this journey than they've been for 3 lifetimes or 4 lifetimes. You're like light speed ahead. There's a reason why we are chosen as the chosen ones. I don't want anybody to walk away from this discrediting themselves. That they think that they're weak, or they think that they're not worthy, or they think that they're not lovable, or that they're not deserving of something good. You are. We're sovereign beings, right? We're all divine in one way or the other. We're all collectives in one way or the other. So don't ever feel that you're not worthy. There is someone out there for everyone. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your twin. To the point, though, that if you happen to also have a soulmate in your life, at the same time you are having a twin flame journey, please do not discredit your soulmate in any way, shape, or form. That soulmate is also there for a reason, and the soulmate usually will ground you, will calm you, will center you, will give you everything that you need that time. The universe knows how it's working, right? It'll give you, the soulmate will give you a soft place to land, and the soulmate will love you. Just not as chaotic as the twin flame journey. It's the soulmate's there, and the soulmate's going to come along and scoop you up and get you off of that, as I call it, the hamster wheel of that loop of, like, sometimes confusion, toxicity, like craziness, and be like, I just need a second to breathe. Like, I just need calm. Do not discredit. Anyway, if there is a soulmate around you when you're going through this, because you're going to need them, and they are going to be just as valuable to you as you are to them, because you also are going to help them, and you're going to notice that your soulmate, whether it's a friend, an ex, someone you look up to, you can notice that they're also changing. They're also evolving. Their vibration from being around you and motivated by you and looking up to you is also going to change. If there's usually a pureness in the soulmate connection, as opposed to, unfortunately, some of these twin flame connections, not so pure. Soulmates, a little bit more pure. And again, this is just not just with my experience, but with a lot of people that I know that are going through the same thing, that also have a soulmate attached to this journey with them. And soulmate's not going to be, like, the soulmate is going to be solid. The soulmate is going to be upfront and center, say, you know what, I'm not going anywhere, you need me. Soulmate's going to pick you up when you're on the ground, when you're in a puddle of tears, when you can't move. Mine did. And you know what? He's an ex, but he's my best friend. He is my business partner with my podcast. He was a savior for me. He was the one that I let in when I was miserable, because he was front and center and always there, and he always knew what I wanted and what I needed, and he wanted to help me. Like, I mean, it's okay to see me so broken. So it's weird, because the soulmate knows about the twin flame journey, But the twin, like, at least for me and some others as well, but the twin doesn't necessarily know that they're the twin.
Right.
That's, again, personal preference, and everyone's different, and no judgment. But at least in my particular case, this is the way that it is. This is how it goes right now. But my soulmate, I adore him. I would take a bullet for him. I would give my life for him as he would for me. He's been solid, consistent. None of this ghosting, breadcrumbing, love bombing BS. He shoots straight from the hip. What he says, he means. What he means, he does. There's no there. At least for me, with my experience, in terms of the differences between my flame experience and my soulmate's much more consistent and much more mature, and much more emotionally available and grounding and sincere, like not leaving me guessing all the time. I don't know if you felt that way, I think, because we discussed that earlier this week, right?
You're
I'm sorry.
The twin flame journey for me, I'm out. But in the meantime, it's all just like you said, and Kira said in the chat, it's about going within, reflecting, healing, learning what triggers you. That's so wild that you said that it's not their responsibility, but it's your own responsibility. You have to be accountable. Yo, why did that trigger me? That's amazing. It's understanding the psychological end of yourself. Twin flame journey is a mirror. You're learning about you.
But I didn't always think that. Of course, initially in the beginning, I blamed this person for the trigger, right?
Yes.
And I would finger point. I've learned now, because I'm much more further along in this, you can't do that. That's not fair. Do not do that. Mm-hmm. So I don't, and I won't. And that's my growth in this. Again, wish this person nothing but the best, nothing but things. They have a lot they need to work on, a lot they need to get through, as we all do. We all have our own journey, and I'm not knocking anything in any way. They're really going through a heck of a lot. I'm always praying for them. I'm always rooting for them. But at this stage in my life, I'm choosing me. I'm choosing this journey alone. I'm choosing to put that love back into myself. I'm choosing to love the man upstairs that's given me these opportunities to speak about this, my purpose. Listen, and I've learned the hard way, never say never. We don't, and I don't know how this person may or may not feel. I don't even, you know what I mean? And again, it gets to a point where it doesn't matter anymore. Right. It's not up to you to worry, do they feel, do they not feel? That's actually none of my business at this point. Like, I pulled back my energy so much because I've gotten hurt so much, because I realized that what I deserve and willing to put up with, and what I can bring to the table, and what I can bring, versus what I want versus what I don't want. Yes. Yeah. And it's hard. It's very, very hard. And it's a lonely journey. You lose a lot of people. You lose a lot of people along the way. You lose a lot of friends. You lose family member, even if you didn't have a great relationship with a lot of people, but you do lose people along the way with this. And you learn, you know what, that's okay. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea. Right. They're not going to be my cup of tea. I don't hate anybody. At first it started stinging me. I'm like, why are people blocking me all of a sudden? What's going on? Like, I'm realizing in this, it's because I'm triggering, by speaking my truth, I'm triggering others to do that for themselves, and they're not seeing that. And it doesn't matter what the label is in terms of what the journey is, whether they have a twin, soulmate, kindred truths, period. It triggers people when they know that they're only living in half-truths. And you know what? I used to be that person. The first one to raise my hand and say, there has been so much self-growth in this, so much maturity on my end for this that I am so incredibly grateful for. It's incredible. People even say to me, Lisa, you're not the same person you were 6 months ago, 7 months ago, over the summer. Like, I know I'm not. I'm different, and that's okay. And I'm better. I'm a better version of me.
Absolutely.
Like, a stronger version of me. It's not, this journey is not for the weak. It's not for the meek. It takes the strongest and the most courageous and the most resilient people, and it breaks them down, and it breaks them down again, and it breaks you down again and again and again, until you get so to the rock bottom, you're like, you know what, I have to do the work to get out of this, because what's the alternative? I'm going to stay there. You can't. And again, soulmates are usually attached to this. Lean on your soulmate. Because your soulmate, you're going to be each other's strength. Don't discredit the soulmate, because there's a twin connection. A lot of people over-romanticize the concept of it. Oh, it's a twin. Oh, it's this. Oh, you revert back to when you're a child, right? Whether you're a little girl or you're a little boy. Little boys look at being a prince. Little girls look at the princess. That's where there's a big myth that comes to play with this, where I think that there's so much misinformation out there about, like, every single person that's a twin flame is going to union, and they're going to get married, and they're going to live happily ever after, and they're going to have children. No. Because some twin flames don't meet until they're in their 50s, 60s, and 70s. So first of all, how are they going to have kids? That's just not possible, right? Yes. I mean, they could if they have a surrogate, I guess, but why would they, you know, what I'm saying, like, why would you wait that whole time if you have, like, other things in your life that you can find joy? Just do that too. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, always have a little bit of hope in your heart for the twin, and maybe all the way in the back of the mind, tiny bit in the back of your heart, but don't get so stuck in that you stop your life and you stop what you're meant to do, which is really make a difference and really connect with people and really help people and you know, spread the word. My empathic skills and my psychic skills have really come and blossomed a lot more in the last, like, 6 or 7 months. So this is another thing for me that I am so incredibly grateful for, and I have so much gratitude now. Like, I'm more at peace. I'm more front and center than I was 6 months ago, or in the summer I was like a lunatic, like an absolute lunatic. But it's amazing how each of these phases take you and to heal you and to make you a better person. It's incredible. And like I said, there was a reason why you and I had spoke. I mean, you know my soulmate. Yes. You know him.
He's a wonderful person. Absolutely.
But we were initially on the phone the first time talking about this idea. I believe we were on the phone for 5 hours. It was about a week ago, if I'm not mistaken. And you and I were just running these ideas past each other about, should we do this? Should we talk about this journey and the impact that it can, you know, have on your life? And we said, why not? So I thank you for this opportunity that you're giving me, and you know, to the further exposure and have these types of discussions. And I appreciate the comments that are on your wall. Your subscribers and your viewers are lovely. Oh my goodness. Yes.
Thank you, guys. They're here for, I mean, everybody's got.
There's one that's asking, is there a difference between a true twin flame and a false twin flame? You want to answer that? Because we had discussed that as well.
False twin flame, would you call it like a karmic twin? Like a false flame?
Yes.
Oh, my encounter with my flame, I gotta be real, it was it was like very, very much electric. And it was almost in slow motion. Electric is the best way I can explain it. It was like an instant, like, I know you, that vibration. Like, we've done this before. As I told you guys in the channel, we've done this before. We've done this before because we're supposed to learn what we're supposed to learn in this lifetime. And as I said, we don't take the material shit with us, but we take the knowledge, the experience, the wisdom. That's what we leave here when we're in their soul particle and we come back. And real quick, a side note, the 144, I truly believe that we are all a part of the 144. Why? Because energy is recycled. We are everything. We come back. I believe in reincarnation. I believe in this twin flame journey. And I believe it's not meant to be a Disney freaking thing. It's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be challenging. Life is supposed to be challenging. Again, it's the wisdom from the experiences and those traumas that amplify, teach your mediumship and your abilities. Yes, your trauma through physical abuse, child abuse, narcissism, narcissistic mothers, whatever the case may be. If we go through the extreme moments, those moments are what make you you. Not only just building character, but your abilities in you. Spiritual abuse too, Kira. Absolutely. Spiritual warfare is real.
Yes.
Oh my God, yeah. So, not everything that you've experienced. Oh my God. Everything that you've, thank you, Amber, experienced is not going in vain. I'm shuffling here, and we have the Two of Wands in reverse. This person is not supposed to be with you. This person can't come with you. They were there for the lesson. What was the lesson? Page of Wands in reverse. What was the lesson of this relationship? Again, self-love, self-improvement. And as Kira said, absolutely, I love that word, integrating. Integrate. Yeah. I can't even say it. The things, but evolve. That's the whole point, is to evolve and understand that what forgiveness is, and being grateful for the journey, the painful ass journey. It's supposed to hurt, absolutely. But if you can take that pain and transmute that.
I mean, to go back to the point with the traumas and
right.
And I was trying to figure with mine why I was always triggered. It's because you push things out for so many years about narcissism and you know, being sexually assaulted, and not by him. Like, I want to be very clear, not by him at all. It was not by his hand. Again, very clear, he did not do that. But I pushed these feelings down for so very long. Why is this triggering me? Why? And I kind of closed my eyes to it and chose not to look at the fact that I was raped by a boyfriend many years ago. And I processed this as just, well, I was actually abused because I was sexually assaulted before. This wasn't, unfortunately, the first case that it happened to me. Again, this did not happen, I want to be clear. This did not happen by the hand of my twin. He would never have done that. He would never do that. Okay, I want to clear. But it was in a previous relationship. And I guess, you know, it does something to your self-esteem, right? So absolutely. You think you set yourself up for it. Mm-hmm. You think, why do I always fall for these relationships? Why do I always do this? Why am I always doing A, B, C, X, Y, and Z? And it's not just with one area in your life necessarily. It's about all different areas in your life. And that's when I think it comes into play later on that you're twin flame. It doesn't necessarily come into play when you're too young, because you haven't had too many life experiences to learn from and to move forward from. And I think that's why a lot of us have to, wind up meeting the twins later on in our life because of that fact. And it shakes you, it uproots you. But, there is that blessing with it. It means that, you know what, I have to let this go. I have to heal this.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay now. I'm going to be fine. Nobody's going to hurt me. I'm highly favored. I'm highly protected. I'm not going to let anybody in like that. I'm not going to deal with that anymore. Went away, even though there was a Karmic tie to my twin flame journey, and there is a trauma bond. There are lessons and there are blessings in between those things. So, and I always say, to broken people, hurt people. Broken people attract broken people. When you're both broken and you're both so removed from certain things, right? How can you expect to have a great relationship?
Yes.
And how can you expect to come back around when one person is really working on it and one person is really, really healing themselves?
Yes.
And the other one, for whatever reason, it's their journey, it's their timeline. That's okay. You can't put that on them either.
Right.
You have to give them good graces with that, and when they're ready to do it, they'll do it. If they're ready to do it in this lifetime, you can only move forward as yourself, right? And take all of that love and back into yourself and back in the higher power and live with your purpose. And that's it. That's it.
I mean, even my current partner, he said that he met his twin flame as well. And I truly believe we meet. We do. And I got a vision of someone, like a child, saying, I wish I was a twin. And, we're twins. The shit is real. Absolutely.
It is. Oh, it is. It is. I told you what I picked up for you. You're gonna have a baby.
Okay. I hope, I'm pretty sure I'm sure he's watching. Amber, what the fuck? Thank you, Amber.
I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect. No, that's fine.
Listen, it's
I'm
spirit
grateful.
coming through. I don't know where this is coming from, but spirit all of a sudden is like tapping on my shoulder and saying, Lisa, you have to tell her this in these live feeds, but she's gonna have a baby.
I'm very grateful for what Source brings. Absolutely.
I know, but she said you're gonna have. Here we go again. Spirit is telling me to tell you it's gonna be a little girl.
Oh,
These little I told you already. These cute little cherub cheeks.
Oh my god.
You're gonna have little dark Martin shoes.
I gotta be real.
Little like baby.
Bro,
like,
metalheads right out of the bag. Literally, that would be great. Oh my god, yes. Nah, I think I would be so grateful for that experience. Absolutely.
It'll happen. When you least expect it, it'll happen.
But for now, you guys are my babies. Absolutely.
Yeah, you do a lot. You're doing a lot of great stuff there. I'm so proud of you.
We are gonna do much more. This Shadow Work Wednesday, is wonderful. It's for you guys specific, and it's also for myself. We're healing every day. Every time I pull a card for you guys, I come to a realization of something else. I wish I should have, woulda, coulda done this way earlier instead of playing metal, although that shit was fun. But the wisdom and growth that you give and receive for yourself is self-reflection. When I'm reading for you guys, I'm also healing myself too. And I have no shame to say that I'm not fully healed. Fuck, I don't care. But we're here to help each other, and that's the whole point of this thing that we're doing here. And I hope we do so much. And we learn in this lifetime. That's the whole point. Is to keep teaching and helping restore each other. In the end, we're all the same soul or essence. What were you talking about earlier today? Soul, I said something soul essence. What was that?
I'm sorry.
The higher
soul flames.
Soul flame, right.
The soul flames is the essence of a twin flame. Weren't we going to go with that? It's a cross between a twin flame
yes.
and a soulmate without the toxicity and the karmic ties and the trauma bonds that sometimes twin flame journeys come with, right? It's the essence of both with the grounded in the essence of the spirit, right? And I think that's how we agreed upon, because Spirit was telling me earlier to kind of explain it to your viewers and for us to re-emphasize it tonight in this broadcast in that way. And Spirit is in my ear again now, saying, yes, you're articulating it the way we want it to be articulated.
Good.
So people can understand, and that too is equally as important, and is a wonderful, unique, amazing bond, an amazing journey.
Yes, absolutely.
Don't negate that, and I always say kindred spirits can come along with this too.
That's true.
Never negate the kindred spirit, and soulmates are vastly as important too. And there's many different soulmates on many different levels throughout our lives, right? Friendship, co-workers, bosses, family, friends, lovers, exes, whatever. It could be some random person that you run into on the street and you have this amazing conversation that you're like, wow,
yes.
we connected right there in this conversation in 10 minutes on soul level, or kindred spirit level. So don't also discredit those types of experiences as well either. Like I think that's just equally, especially when you're on the twin flame journey, equally and as vastly as important, if not even more so, because that helps fund you too, and it helps to keep you centered. It helps to keep you more level. I say more level as opposed to more chaotic, maybe literal. That twin flame journey might have. I mean, I'm not sure how you feel about that, or viewers feel about that. Oh, even unhealed people can heal. That's true. I like that comment from Rain. Yeah, this is true. Sometimes an unhealed person can heal a person that is healed. Yeah, sometimes there are wise words to be spoken, and there are wise words to be heard. So that is equally as important, dude. Not to discredit anybody.
Absolutely.
That's the point of the twin flame journey. We should never discredit anyone. We should always lead in love. This is how I find off my podcast. Usually it's lead in love every time. Because you never know at the end of the day what someone's going through, right?
Right.
A smile goes a long way. Holding the door open for someone just because goes a long way. A feeding somebody's parking meter and a treat sometimes, because maybe somebody's chasing after the dog that got loose in their kids in the baby stroller just because we do small things like that. And you know what? The universe is going to notice. The universe is going to notice. It doesn't go unnoticed.
No, it
doesn't.
Good karma, dharma. Oh, absolutely. It's what you just said is the most. It's just being human. Be human responsibly. Absolutely.
Be humane.
Yes.
Be compassionate. Have empathy for me. And it has nothing to do with whether you're a twin or you're a soulmate. It has nothing to do with those labels whatsoever. Whether you have the gifts that you and I have. Nothing. It's just about being a human being and treat everybody. Listen, everybody wants to connect. Everybody wants to be heard.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be validated. Everybody wants to be acknowledged. Everybody wants to be loved. And I don't really think that is so incredibly not hard to do. You know what I mean? Because maybe holding the door open, feeding the parking meter, and buying somebody a coffee because you just feel bad for them because you see that they're broken. That's gonna turn their day around. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know where someone may or may not be in their journey, or to the point of sometimes it's addiction, whatever it is, gambling, sex, alcohol, drugs, whatever, overeating, not eating enough, whatever. You don't know, or they're being abused. You don't know.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's never. I've also learned the word not to assume anymore. Like I'll be, again, I'm gonna raise my hand. I'll be the first one to say I used to assume too much. You can't do that. You can't assume, and you can't judge a book by its cover. Don't, because sometimes the most beautiful stories and the most beautiful chapters are somewhere that you never, ever thought to look, right?
Yes.
Because some people I walk down the street, some people go, oh, what are they wearing?
What are they?
What are they doing? Or stop misjudging people.
Right.
Stop assuming. Stop turning your nose up. Just be cool.
What? Acceptance of everyone's unique way.
I think that's also part of the twin flame too. Have your boundaries, know your limit, not being afraid to speak your truth and being, having sass when you need to and open honesty. There's nothing wrong with that. But just be more mindful. Just be more mindful of others.
Absolutely.
I mean, we're all guilty of that sometimes, again, myself included. I'm not perfect. I'm not trying to be judge or jury or on here on my soapbox anyway. I'm just saying what has changed me and what I've noticed and what's made me I'm really a more solid, better person in this journey. And I'm in a place now. I'm so appreciative that I went through this. I'm so grateful that I went through it. And yes, there are going to be moments and times and months that you're going to be like, I can't do this. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know what's the alternative. You can't give up. You can. You have to keep going. You have to pause. Yes. Do we pause on this journey? Absolutely. Especially when it affects your mental health, you have to. I did.
I did too.
I'll be the first one. I did. I had to get my mental health back in check. I had to take a few months off of everything, and I had to be like, okay, life is beautiful. Life is precious. Life is worth living. You're going to get through this. Focus on being healthy and whole within yourself. That's the best thing that I can say. And talk to other people that are on this journey and research this, because there are some people told, oh yeah, you have a twin, and then you find out later on maybe it wasn't. You know what I mean? Or maybe there's another reader or something that says, oh, it's definitely a twin, and you find out later on from a different reader or a different empath or a different site, you know what, they just told you that because they wanted your money. Unfortunately,
false readings do happen.
We know that there are people out there that do that don't speak truthfully, and you get to the point you can see through that. So yeah, you have to be mindful and aware and discerning. I never used that word so much in the last 6 months, but mindful and discerning, and you learn in this journey as you go along. Pull back your energy if you're not sure. Do more grounding, do more grounding work, and do more spiritual baths, and ask for the signs to whatever makes it come to you here. If it's journaling or it's praying or it's meditating, ask. The signs will come.
Absolutely.
If you're not sure about something, and I find with this too, if you're not sure, just pull your energy back just a little bit more until you become a little bit more, clear with certain things too. I mean, I don't know if you found this to be true as well on your journey, or if your subscribers or your viewers found that to be truthful as well.
Absolutely. This journey woke me up, put me right where I'm sitting, right place, right where we are. Yes. It's supposed to happen, unfortunately. But look at what change you're doing for more than just yourself. That's the thing. And when I realized that I had to make that change from the twin flame, I was like, yo, I can't do this. I'm dealing with myself, basically. And it brought me into it. I had to make that big ass decision, just like you. I have to leave. This is not gonna work.
No, it's not. If you're gonna keep,
nobody's gonna grow.
You're testing the other person. It's never going to get anywhere. And I think people, depending on their timing in the journey, too, also need to understand ghosting happens. Blocking happens on both sides. The ghosting happens on both sides at certain points. Silent treatment what's going on. And you know, there's obviously there's different reasons for this, depending upon the type of connection and if there's a karmic tie, if there's a trauma bond, or, you know, sometimes I also see this as a gift that if your twin goes to you, for instance, or your twin blocks you, just for a little while, as difficult and as gut-wrenchingly painful as that is, it's a gift. You know why? To your point, you're mirroring each other. It's half your soul. They're going like this to you with their hand going.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Stop.
Yes.
Go stop. And they're stopping you because they know that you need it as much as they do. So you have to kind of take that as gut-wrenchingly difficult as it is, it's actually a gift. Because they're recognizing, you know what, whatever this is, whatever this intensity is, whatever's going on here, we need to pause. And I want to be clear, my twin has blocked me, and I have blocked my twin as well. I blocked my twin in the beginning of the journey, before I realized that I wasn't sure if they were aware of what it was. Yes, I did. It was too intense. I couldn't get a grasp on it. I didn't understand what was going on. I thought, like, there's something wrong with, like, there was something wrong with me. Like, it was very uncomfortable.
Right.
So I understand it from both sides because I had done it myself as well. So, but initially when my twin did it, I wasn't expecting that. But I realized that, again, that's that hand up saying, you know what, there's stuff going on here. I don't know if I can give you what you need right now.
Right.
I don't know if I'm capable of that. So I'm giving you that pause. So we can stop this so I can figure out what's going on here. That's actually a blessing. That's actually a blessing. And if we start to turn around the way that we from initially in the beginning until, you know, we move closer towards the end of the journey with this, you start to look at things differently. That's another blessing that's coming to me with this, and I'm like, okay, well, there's a reason why. There's more reasons that are coming front and center. Never take them going this with their hand and pausing and blocking you as you're being rejected.
Right.
You're not. You're being put on pause for a reason. Like, let's catch our breath.
Yes.
I need 5 seconds. I need a few weeks. Because obviously they're doing that because they realize this is a different kind of connection there. But we have to be really real with this.
Yes,
there are intense level of emotions that go along with this.
Yeah.
Neither side asked for, neither side understood. Listen, we didn't sign up for this. We signed up for this lifetimes ago, you know, so there's a continuum of the journey and some of the things that we have to get through and we have to continue. It's hard. But look at you. Look at you made it through. Look at you.
Look at us. Shit. Look at us. Everybody.
You're glowing. You're beautiful. You inspire people. I am so touched that you asked me to do this. You have no idea. You have no idea.
This is it's a wonderful topic. It's a heavy topic. And I see it everywhere.
It's a very heavy topic. I mean, what my twin made me realize with these triggers, like, I'm not putting it on him at all, okay? Because these are triggers from childhood, and I would never, you know, he would never do that with me. I know that. I know this to be true. But what he triggered in me that I realized that I had to heal. No, absolutely no joke. Absolutely no joke. And I am so grateful for that, and I'm so grateful for him doing that part of this. And I wouldn't have said this 6 months ago. No way. 6 months ago, I was like, no way. This is not. No.
I saw your
but
post.
now,
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
Now I'm just like, Okay. Thank you. And you know, you have spirit. You're going to have spirits in this video because you're having little orbs behind you and keep shooting out. So I know I'm speaking truth here, and you are, and it's resonating with your viewers and subscribers. We have little orbs that are going to be in your video, but yeah, so that's what it is. And the spirit seems to be pleased that we're speaking truth here. So
my phone made a weird sound. It's funny. So your person blocked you, put this pause on you. I did that to my twin. I had to get off that. I was like, listen, this is toxic. There's so many opportunities that you're blocking for us, and I'm blocking me. So you're talking about ghosting. I did the ghosting. Absolutely. I had to.
I did it too. I was the first one in the connection to do the blocking before he did, and before he was, before I think he was even awakened to the fact that there's something different going on here. I blocked this person first. I'll front and center. I'm going to admit it now. I blocked him first, but then initially when he did it back to me, there's a very common denominator here that twins try to one up the other one to try to make a point, to try to, well, you know what, you hurt me, so
it's abandonment issues. It's abandonment issues that was triggered there.
It is.
You leaving.
It absolutely is because I have abandonment issues, because to go to the point that I spoke to you about, I'm adopted. So although I had a wonderful life, beautiful life, like wonderful family, would never say anything negative about that. But when you're adopted and you're chastised as a child for it, and you have certain things said to you, even in adulthood, about it. You know, you weren't wanted, or you should have been aborted, or you should have been a double scrape, or something. You know, and it's just disgusting. That's disgusting. That's deplorable to say to another human being, even if you don't like the person.
Yeah. It builds character. Unfortunately, I gotta thank all my haters and all my all my enemies. Thank you so much for building character in my life. Absolutely. What I tell you guys is, you guys are
that you couldn't make something of yourself, or that you would never strike a conversation, or you would never strike the chord with someone, or that you're not smart enough to do this, or you're not smart enough to take it to task. Well, you know what? Look at what I'm doing. Look at what I've done. That you wouldn't bet on me at my lowest. Who says that to somebody?
Right. That twin flame journey and those bullies in your life, and your bully, whether it's spiritual bullies, family, mothers, father, whoever, your twin flame, it's all to build you. And it's not to be discouraged, not to be like, oh my God, this ended, I'm never gonna find love. No, and I tell you guys all the time, and I yell at you, and I'm like, listen, you have to find the love within yourself before you start manifesting another relationship. And I do spell work for you guys, clients, and yes, soul tie me to this person. Are you sure? And it's still my job to tell you, are you sure you want to do that? Six of Pentacles, as I say that. Are you sure? Do you understand what that means? Do you understand what the responsibility is? It is behind every action and decision that you make. It's very important. And if you do, you do. Everything can be modified, but there's a which pathway, which rift, or what are you taking this lifetime? Modifications, absolutely. I do believe in them. Yeah, absolutely. I did in that last, I swear, I tried to do everything. Dude, I'm a practitioner of 25 years, started doing spell work with my mom in this religion when I was 13, 12. So I'm writing petitions. I did all the grunt work. I learned so much. And I understood the duality of that, the good and the bad. I understood that honestly, what I meant to say was, everything I did for that relationship, that twin flame connection, nothing could save that. There was no spell, there was nothing that I could do, there was no physical communication that I could have done to save that relationship. Archangel St. Michael, everybody, Rob, nothing. or chun or ya chango, nothing saved that relationship. And I've gone to higher ups, babalaos, and I'm like, listen, what happened to this relationship? Did they explain? Yes, spell work was done, but also that connection, it's not meant for you to be with that person. And I said to the babalao, I was like, listen, this is my twin flame. I want to save this relationship. I tried with everything, money, everything to save this thing. And there's nothing to save that relationship. It's meant to be a lesson, and it's meant to be let go and digested and understood. And again, yeah, relationships, the twin flame connection is toxic. And if someone's like, I'm with my twin, listen, absolutely not. Bullshit. If it's honey and sweet, that's great, but that may be a high level soulmate. That may be, what did you say, soul essence? What is it?
A soul flame.
Yes, a soul flame.
Soul flame, yeah.
I believe that.
Yeah.
And then you have, as I was saying before, like the karmic twin. But that's the thing. The karmic twin is you. You are that person. That is your reflection. There's nothing wrong with that, understanding that. And I love that you said that. What are the triggers that are triggering you? Hold yourself accountable for those changes in those triggers. That's I'm stuck with that.
Twin, and not your twin. Yeah, you don't hold your twin accountable. It's not your twin's fault. No.
Right. And you know, when I came here back to where I lived with my roommate BT, I was like, I need to work on this platform. There's blockages. I can't do anything I need to do. And I blocked this person. I was like, I gotta focus. For the 4 months, I worked my ass off with you guys. I had one-on-one sessions with you guys. I'm so grateful for this channel, this platform. I mean, I did everything. And then I finally go out and I'm like, you know what? I miss dancing. I miss going out. I'm gonna treat myself. And that was horrible because I wanted to do what I did with my twin, which was dance. But the thing is that one day I drank and I kept drinking and I didn't know how to unblock this person. I miss this person. You guys would miss your twin, regardless. And he knows he's my twin.
Yes. Yes, do you miss your twin?
Oh my God.
Yeah. My God.
Now, I mean, not really. Because I found myself.
But now? But are you going to have moments where you're through the journey, you're like, oh my God.
Rebuke it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That person will always be that person. I understand, but I now understand what's much more important is me personally in this path, and I don't know about you, but what the experience is and what we can do with that knowledge and experience, that is more important to me. I hope and I wish the best. Goodbye. But no, I understand fully that I'm not meant to be there with that person. No. There's something much bigger. If we're talking about you and I on this journey, healing and giving information out to the public, absolutely. I think that experience is what is going to help heal. And that's much more bigger than having my twin flame or having a relationship in general. The whole purpose of the spiritual walk is to be alone. And I have friends and family that I'm so sorry, you know, they want to hang out, they want to do this, and I'm like, dude, I can't. If I'm gonna walk this walk, I need to be able to walk alone. I need to be able to hear spirit. I need to be able to fast. I need to be able to take care of my practice. My orishas, my 7 orishas that I have, my muerto that's there, my boveda, my guides, my ancestors, they need me the most, and that is sacrifice. And I've done it. I had to, and I feel it would be very stupid and pardon me, selfish to go back to that person, and naive, knowing that that person may not be ready. Which is why I tell you guys, when you're in separation and you come to me and you want to talk about love work or road opener work, make sure that you're finding yourself. Make sure you are not waiting for anybody. Don't wait for this dude to come back. Don't wait for a new person. No, do road opener work. Do your spiritual blood cleanses. Start your business. Start the things that are important to you that are going to help more people. That is the most important part of your walk. Selflessness. be there for the mass, or who you need to be, even if it's your family, your friends that need you, you know.
Right.
Choose. I don't know.
I agree. Don't, and there's such a thing as false hope.
Right.
Remember, we're talking about that false hope. There are so many articles out there, channels. Oh, you're going to come into union, you're going to get married, or you're going to be, you know, it's going to be happily after. Don't put that false hope out there for everybody to have.
Oh no, me personally.
More often than not, that's not going to happen. That's not meant to happen. You're at different levels of your life now, and you want different. You will not accept anything less than that. Anything less than what you deserve. And it doesn't matter the walk of life, the amount of money that they can offer you, the lifestyle, or you know, people sometimes fall into this category in terms of, I'm not knocking people that are well off, that work their asses off for their money.
Sure, that's different.
God bless them. But I'm just saying, don't let them fall, you know, kind of like put a false pretense up there and lead with that, because that can set you up for disaster. Because more often than not, you find out that people that tend to lead with that, not only are they very insecure, and not only do they have to constantly be reassured, but those types of people sometimes, unfortunately, not all, I'm not knocking all people, please don't misunderstand this, but sometimes there is a level of emotional bankruptcy. What can they offer you in the connection? What can they offer you in terms of a conversation? What can they offer you in terms of emotionally back? How do they fulfill you at the end of the day? It's not what they can put in your bank account. It's not how much they have, you know, what kind of cars they drive, or what kind of job they have, or how they can do, what they can do at your 401k. Again, not knocking people that work their asses off for their money. There's people out there that are wonderful, well-rounded individuals, but there are certain individuals that are like this. Because they know, oh, well, if I show the money, if I flaunt the money, I'm going to get the attention. Okay, but you don't realize that you're leading with that foot. What kind of attention? As you get to a point in your life, don't you want a sincere, genuine connection with someone? I often say this to people that I know that are very well off, and I mean it. And I don't say it to knock them down or I say it to them to get them to think in a different way. Do not lead someone is what you have, not who you are.
Absolutely. Yeah, I make sure that's known. I think if you guys, I don't know how you all really are, but you know, here I'm very honest. I'm very blunt. I'm very clear. It's the experience already. It's like, no, I had enough. But if you guys stood up for yourselves, if you explained your feelings exactly how it is in a cool, calm, collected way, holy shit. Like, I feel that relationships would be so much more growth, like the growth there behind that. And being okay with hearing things that you don't want to hear is very important too. Absolutely.
There's beauty in being vulnerable.
Yes, absolutely. I think
people don't realize that, because that word vulnerability and vulnerable is a word that triggers a lot of people. Go, whoa. I was once also raising my hand, again, I'm not picking on anybody, very uncomfortable with that word. Why? Because sometimes there has to be vulnerability. You have to be vulnerable to connect with others and not only hold others responsible, right? But in that vulnerability, you learn to keep yourself in check, and you hold yourself responsible. You learn to also practice what you preach and walk the walk, as well as talk the talk. If you're going to say this to other people, I mean, at least in my world, this is how I am. I better damn well make sure that I do this on my own accord as well, because I'd be a walking hypocrite.
Absolutely. Oh, shit.
And that's not what my purpose is with this at all.
No, vulnerability in a man or woman, honestly, is the most attractive and human thing. I mean, we're only human, and human behavior is extraordinary. and to feel that vulnerability, that again, feel that pain, feel that, oh my God, that vulnerability, the love is very, very scary, but it's so expanding. You can grow so much when you can be vulnerable. Holy shit, absolutely.
Yeah, and if you're expecting somebody to be vulnerable with you, but you're not willing to give it back.
Right. Yes.
That doesn't work. You know, with this, it's a two-way street. It has to, you learn to, like, the way that you were pre-programmed and the way that you were preconditioned in terms of carrying yourself in all types of relationships. You relearn that in this journey, too. You walk out so much better and so much stronger and so much more enlightened.
Yes.
And so much more better, stronger, more secure version of yourself that maybe you didn't have before.
Being vulnerable is very human.
But people need to learn that when someone's trying to be vulnerable with them, that they need to be kind. This also comes back to this too. It's hard for people to do that. You have to give them a safe space where they feel like they can do that. You know, don't poke fun at them. Don't put them down. Don't chastise them behind their back. Be real with them and give them a safe space where they feel like they can. It's just about being a real man. It just goes back to being human. Being humane. That's it.
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. Let me charge you. Absolutely. Being vulnerable is the most human thing you can do. We're here to expand, grow, evolve, and feel. Be vulnerable and communicate. And it's okay to take that break from that person, to walk away from that person and feel that abandonment, because that abandonment is what is going to build you to be like, okay, you know what? I don't need you. But we're here to trigger and make each other understand, oh my God, we're going to be better. We're going to grow. We're going to evolve. That's the whole point of the pain, the trials, the tribulation. That is absolutely, absolutely super sad. But it's so true. Oh my God, yes.
There's no element about this journey that is easy in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
Nothing. It's not made, and it's not meant for everybody to walk this path. It's not meant. There are a lot of people that just can't do this, that are not meant to do this, that were chosen to do this.
Right.
And that's okay. Listen, not everybody can be a doctor, not everybody can be a surgeon, not everybody can be a lawyer or an actor or an actress or a musician. And there's reasons for everything, right? There's reasons why everybody has different gifts and goes in different professions. Those are vastly different occupations, but we need to learn to embrace those differences. I think world would be so much better, but the first thing that we have to learn, and you learn on this twin flame journey, is the battle within yourself.
Yeah.
It starts with oneself. The minute you figure that out, you're halfway there.
Right. Always.
Because the biggest war we have is within ourselves. That's why we're waging war on each other. Let's be honest with that. The war usually starts with somebody that's incredibly happy and is incredibly broken and within themselves.
You guys are in the chat. Christina says, and being alone is also very scary, but I'd rather walk alone than be walked on like a doormat. Kira says abandonment can also cause you not to be vulnerable. That's why you should be able to be standing here alone. Absolutely. Dive in, take that leap of faith. Be bold, be brave.
Absolutely.
And what is the word?
Abandonment can also cause you not to be vulnerable. This is true. And usually if you have abandonment issues, the twin flame has abandonment issues. And I know this about myself. myself, and I know this about my twin. My twin also has abandonment issues, completely different story, and from me, was not adopted like I was, but there are definite issues there from childhood on their end that they have to work through in terms of their vulnerability, in terms of letting their guard down, in terms of having meaningful dialect and conversation, and having something trigger them, but not trigger them, but get them to, think and have depth of conversation, and have an essence to the conversation, an essence to the person. So, that is, and again, I don't make fun of, I'm not poking fun at their journey at all. Again, this is just my example of what I've witnessed with my twin. And that's okay. We all have past, we all have things that we have to get through, we all have things that we have to heal. Again, on our own individual timeline. And I again wish the best. I'm okay where I am now. It's quieter, it's peaceful, I'm more centered, I'm more at peace. I chose to get off of that chaos. I chose to get out of that uncertainty and ghosting and breadcrumbing. I didn't deserve that. And this person knows I didn't deserve that. But no blame. That's my journey. But now I'm choosing. I chose me. I'm choosing me, and I'm okay with that. So.
Well, I think that it's a great time for self-discovery. Oh my God, yeah. That's why I tell you guys, I'm like, yo, enjoy your isolation. A couple of months ago, a lot of what I was reading was separation, breaking up, and I'm like, no, okay, go with it. Enjoy the isolation. Evolve in that isolation. Hermit mode is hermit mode for a reason. In my bed here, that we worked here, it's just loaded with books. Take that time, expand, absorb, and put those things into practice. There's no hoping and dreaming. Start taking action. Absolutely. You need to. You have to. We're here, we're alive now, and we're here to help and teach each other and heal each other. Absolutely. Absolutely. Self-discovery is beautiful. And that's what you can do. That's what everyone should be doing, is being okay with being alone. Because otherwise we're, what is that word? I had it before. Codependency. That separation is, ooh, I'm so sorry, YouTube. It's meant to remove codependency.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Because that alters you. That
right.
makes you slip in your tracks. Like, yes. You alter your love for that other person. You stop chasing what it is that you have to do in terms of your purpose. You stop living part of your life. Again, it's a dangerous, it's a spiral effect. It feels like you heal one thing that is difficult with a twin flame, and then you go back and you have to heal something else.
Yes.
Again, on an individual timeline, your twin's timeline is different than yours. That's okay. You only do your part for you. You can't put your part on them. That's not fair, as they shouldn't with their part on you. You wish them well, but you decide, you know what? I can't do this. It comes to, again, with the free will too, but it comes to a point you can only be broken so much before you realize, you know what? This is, they don't respect me. They don't care. They can say that they do. They can say that they feel bad. If they're caught up in the game of it, or again, just examples. They're caught up in the game of it. They're caught up in the ego. They're caught up in getting the attention. They don't know what they want. They flip flop. They're back and forth. Again, all examples. A lot of similar examples to a lot of people that I've spoken to that are on a similar path, including yourself, with this twin flame journey. So, I'm not speaking just from me. I'm speaking from others as well. Absolutely. Again, not making fun of the twin, but I'm just trying to point out certain similarities in this journey for people that kind of connect the dots
Absolutely. No, like I said, if more people, because I've only seen 3 channels that talk about the twin flame journey as raw as it needs to be, and everybody else that I've ever seen, the twin flame journey has been. So I'm gonna reset the. I'm gonna call you on my other phone. The twin flame journey has been a nightmare, but it's growing, it's evolution, it's expansion, it's forgiveness, it's understanding.
Hello.
Hey, welcome back. My phone.
Okay. Yeah, it really, you really get to relearn yourself. That's what this is about. Self-discovery, as Amber was saying, is very important. Practicing shadow work is very, very important. Reading anything that you feel maybe that you read that resonates with you and your personal journey, read it.
Yes.
That's okay. It's nice to know, though, that when you have another community here that goes through the similar things in which you go through, that doesn't over romanticize this, because that's not what it's meant to be, and doesn't sugarcoat things, but there's an understanding here, and you connect. That's awesome, and I'm so, again, I'm so thankful for the opportunity to speak on your channel tonight and meet some of your subscribers. They're wonderful. I love the comments. I love the comments.
Yes, absolutely. No, I can't wait to see what more comments there'll be while this is uploading on YouTube. I want to see more. I want to see how everybody feels about their personal journeys. Absolutely. This is painful, but very growing. Absolutely very growing. And it's nurturing.
It's a death. It's a death.
Yes.
It's a death of your ego.
Yes.
It's a death. It's a death of getting rid of those karmic connections, the trauma bonds, the attachments, and relearning kind of everything all over again. But still getting to keep the best parts of your old self. But then being better in the long run, being better, I call it the finish line, I guess, like the end of the marathon.
Yes.
It's being better and then new improved at the end of the marathon.
Yeah.
And not sugarcoat everything. I have friends of mine that are on this journey as well.
Oof.
That I'm like, look, you have other readers telling you that, this person may or may not be coming back. And yes, they are. They're coming back. But I think that I'm the only one that tells them, but I think they're coming back for the wrong reason. I don't feel that they're coming back for the right reasons. And, Spirit is telling me they might not be coming back for the right reasons. And they're like, well, all my other reader friends told me that they were going to come back and we were going to be in union and we were going to get married, and they held out hope for just the romantic aspect of the connection instead of seeing it as the whole journey of everything that it encompasses. And one of them is also very, very wealthy. But I'm like, look, don't fall into that trap that just because they have a lot of money and they're going to say something to you that's going to sound good and they're going to wrap it up in a red bow.
Right.
Don't ignore the red flags, because in my eyes, what I see is this person has not changed. But you have free will. I'm just telling, but why did everybody else sound like, because they didn't want to tell you the truth, because, I'm your friend, and I'm not charging you to tell you this. I'm your friend. I'm telling you the truth. Like, everybody else is sugarcoating it for you because they know what you've been through. You can't sugarcoat this message. That's the other thing. You can't, because that's where that false hope comes in. Yeah. Don't give me false hope. Like, I can't, I can't deal with that. Like, no, thank you. I don't need false hope, because I'm better off without I'll have hope with something else, but I don't need the word false and hope in the same sentence. Not with that.
Yeah. Oh, man. what
So,
Christina says in the chat, actually, I was there. She says, I think that's why some of us mourn so hard. It really hurts even when it's good for you. Absolutely. The mourning, the death of that person, that connection, of how much you tried and how much you did and how much you gave, and it's meant to break you down to a better version of yourself. Independency, getting rid of codependency. It's fucked
and
up.
it's the people have to understand too why it's so hard and why it's so intense and why it's so dramatic and over the top is because that's the other half of your soul.
Yeah.
So what I've learned with this is, okay, maybe I'm missing the other half of my soul right now, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to throw double the love back in the other half that I already have existing in my body, and I'm going to throw that back into myself, into my purpose, into living in my truth and walking in my truth, and now knowing what it is that the higher power wants me to do with this journey. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm choosing to do. Again, if you asked me this 6 months ago, I wasn't there 6 months ago. I wasn't there 4 months ago. This has been only, within like maybe the last month, 5 weeks, that I can say that confidently that I'm in a really, really good spot. And I'm happy about it. I'm happy about it.
Take your
time. And I'm okay being by myself right now because I'm still healing, and that's okay. It takes a while. Like it doesn't just dissipate. But I'm doing my purpose now. My purpose is helping me to heal. My purpose is propelling me forward and pushing me forward and let's go. We have a message that we have to convey. Let's do this. And at least if I know I'm holding up my end of it, that's all I can do. Mm-hmm. You can't force the other person to meet you at your level if you're ahead of them when they're not ready yet, because there are lessons that they have to learn that are separate from your lessons. People also need to understand that. I don't think people realize that although there are very much similarities, there are also very vastly different differences in the journey for your twin versus for you. And in terms of the level of your healing and your growth, and you're admitting that you're wrong, and you're admitting, and you're saying, you know what, Mike, listen, did I poke at him 8 months ago, 9 months ago? Yeah. Was I in my? I'll be the first one to say it. Was I a little bit in my head? Yeah. Do we trigger each other? Sure, sure. But you know what? I'm out of that now. I've evolved. I've grown. I've matured. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if I hurt them. That was never my intention. But you know what? I have to go do this on my own now. Yes. I'm a better person for it. Like I see a bigger picture now. There's no gray areas. There's no confusion because it goes back to fear though. Listen, it goes back to fear because there's a level in this that you're so frightened by this. Yes. Because it's not something that you've ever experienced in your life before, so you don't really know how to process it. Again, it's on their own timeline. Yes. In their own way. That doesn't fall on you. That's up to them, and that's okay. All you can do is wish them well, love them from a distance, and that's it. That's all you can do. You can't force somebody up to be up at your speed but at the same time, they can't expect to come along and ride your coattails. Yes. Yep. In terms of the work that you've done and not do their own. That it doesn't work that way. Right? Yeah. You find out how quickly people become an energy vampire of yours. And you realize how precious your energy actually is. Yes. And then you learn how to detach and you learn how to pull back even more. Not because you're trying to be cruel. Not because you don't care. But you're like, you know what? I'm tired of these games.
Self-love.
I'm putting my foot down. Mm-hmm. I'm putting it back into me. I'm tired of being hurt.
Absolutely. Thoughts.
But they're meant to hurt you. They're meant to hurt you. There's a reason why you're meant to hurt each other. You're meant to hurt each other so you can address these issues, so you can heal, and you can move forward. Do a lot of us do that in this lifetime? No, because people are terrified.
Yes.
So people stop. Am I going to be one of those people? Am I one of those people? No, I'm not a quitter. I don't quit. Not with this. This is too important, and this is too vital, and this is too precious. So no. Walking away means you walk away with your head held high.
Yes.
And you know that you did the best that you could.
Yes.
And you know you gave the best that you could have given. That's it. It makes you see yourself in a different way. It makes you see yourself in a different way. You can't beat a dead horse. If somebody's not ready, they're not ready.
That was beautiful. Absolutely.
Right? I mean, you just can't. If somebody's not willing to meet you, let them go. Let them go. And there's enough selflessness in this, even if they've hurt you, that you realize, you know what, I still love, there's still an element of me that I love you.
Sure.
But to your point earlier, it's a selfless thing to let them go if you know at the end of the day with this that you don't want the same thing. You're not going to want the same thing, and they're not, maybe not able to give you what you now require, or you're not able to give them what they're going to require at the end of their journey. You don't know, but you can't halt your life. You can't stop your life. You have to go, and you have to move on. But you just have to go. You have to live your life, and it's hard. Yeah, of course.
You are the catalyst of change.
But you know what? I promise people with this that are going through this, I promise you right now, the tears will stop. The tears will stop. I know it feels like when you keep constantly crying, it's not going to stop. It will stop. It gets to a point where you realize, you know what? Enough. Enough. How much more can I cry? Stop the pity party.
Right.
Get up and live your life. Stop being the victim. Stop finger pointing to your twin.
Right.
And just get up, do your part, hold yourself responsible, get up, move on, and heal. That's it.
I know it's not easy to, it's easy to say, but then to do that, I know some people,
hard.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Absolutely.
People are in therapy with that for years. People are on antidepressants with that for years. People are suicidal with that. I'm not proud of this, but I was very suicidal.
Same. With
this. But there are others that I have talked to about this that were also the same. But I've also learned in this, you should never give another human being, regardless of label, you should never give another human being that much control over you for you to think that you're not worth anything, or that you're unlovable, or that you're not worthy, or that you don't mean anything. You should never, ever render that control over to another human being that makes you question yourself in that way, that makes you feel that way, and then turns around and tries to point the finger and make it look like it's your fault and say, well, I didn't do that. Well, you know what? Maybe you did.
Maybe you did, yes. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but maybe you did.
Well, it's like
and that's hard.
Yes.
That's hard to say to someone, and that's hard for them to hear. Okay, I will give them that. That's a little hard for somebody to hear.
Absolutely.
But trust being in that position is even harder for the person that was in that position to say to you. So, if anybody ever makes you feel that way, what are you doing? Walk away. Disengage.
Disengage. Absolutely. Oh my God, yeah.
You are worth so much more. Life is so precious. Each life is precious. Each person is precious. each individual has some unique story and unique perspective and unique message to bring to the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Absolutely.
Never, ever make you feel like you're at the bottom of the barrel, so dejected and so removed, and so never give someone that power. They don't deserve that power. But you know what I'm finding though when I'm talking about this too, the more and more I talk about this with people on Twin Flame Journey is, unfortunately, it goes back to broken people attract broken people. Depressed people attract depressed people. People that are already dejected themselves and try to hide behind the mask, they also attract that, which is dangerous because they're not choosing to heal themselves. Right. They're choosing to take all of this stuff on to make themselves feel better because they want to look at it as, well, I'm trying to heal you. Okay, I appreciate that. Maybe there's a good meaning behind that, but you have to take a step back and heal yourself first.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Don't take it upon yourself when you're broken to try to heal someone else. Don't do that. That doesn't work because that's like a big oxymoron.
Die. But it's you have to, and my batteries are dying.
You need to be transparent, and there needs to be transparency in this. And people, depending on the level of the journey, you can't to meet yours. You're going to be on different timelines. You're going to have different things that you need to heal separately. And if you do come back into union or into reunion and eventually into union, which some do, yes, but not most. You better believe that you need to be healed, and you got to know what you want and what you're willing to put up with. And for those people that are going through that are like, I wish them nothing but the best. Really, I mean, I don't want to say that I don't hear of people being successful with this. There are, but most often than not, that's not what this is about at all. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's about healing yourself.
Absolutely.
And standing in your own power, in your own truth, in your own path. Without, again, a lot of the times by yourself. Yeah, and you have to cut a lot of people off. It's just the way that it is.
It's the way that it is. Really good that way. It's healthy. And you got to remember you're looking out for yourself. In the end, your spiritual growth, your psychic, your mental health is so valuable. Oh my God. And yes, go seek therapy. I truly, honestly, I went and I was like, I don't need no fucking therapy. And I did, and it's childhood stuff to now. And it explains so much. Go get the help you need. Not just seeking tarot, but or a community. Seek therapy. Have a one-on-one session. Expand it. I'm so... Hands down, yes, go speak to someone, yes. It's incredible. There's the way they ask you.
I think it is. It's so cathartic. Mm-hmm. And it's so healing, and it's so necessary, and it's so raw. And it sounds simplistic. It's not as simplistic, but it's like you said, it's vital and it's necessary. Mm-hmm. It's so necessary.
Absolutely. There's only so much that you can handle until you get to that moment where you and I'm sure any of the viewers now or later, that those suicidal thoughts, those negative thoughts, they get the best of you. And who needs the best of you is you. Your children, your future needs the best of you. Not these negative thoughts, not these suicidal thoughts, not these, oh my God, I can't be with this, I need this person. No, you need you. That's the whole point, is that you need you.
That's breaking down of the ego. That's getting out of your head.
Yes.
That's stopping the overthinking, which I was an overthinker. Mm-hmm. Part of me still is somewhat of an overthinker, but I'm learning to snap out of that with the skills and that I've learned through this journey. That's part of where you get stuck in your thoughts. That's where the ego gets stuck. Mm-hmm. So if you get out of your head and you get away from that ego and you just go, I don't know if I like this saying, but it's true. Sometimes you just have to go with the flow. Give it to the universe. Just don't have expectations, but just go where it feels right. Like, let the universe dictate to you where you're going to go. Don't shut yourself off. Be open to new opportunities, new experiences, meeting new people.
Absolutely.
And you wind up sometimes finding out that it's a welcome surprise and a welcome blessing. Such as me meeting you and connecting with you.
I mean, the things
my spiritual family. I've connected with some others as well.
That's good.
That I'm so looking forward to working and collaborating with more in the future. But just know, just that people have a community, so they know that they're not alone. It's just with this, it's so incredibly important, because you can't joke around when it comes with the depression. Like with me, I think I even had some PTSD with this. No joke. But mine also came with, around the same time, I was mourning loss and was I gonna, like there was all these other, things maybe that added up that came into play in terms of like exemplify, I guess maybe, having the feelings be, that much more intense. Because when you have other things, coupled with it, and you have other stresses and other things that you're trying to deal with, and you're trying to figure out, and you're trying to, grieve in one way or the other, that makes it, or could make it. I mean, again, there's a lot of people that I've talked to with this as well. Again, totally similar paths. It makes it that much harder. Yeah, and it's a wild ride. How did I explain it to you? It's like going on a roller coaster, and then getting thrown into like a washing machine on a super cycle, and then being thrown in the dryer 2 more times, and then being thrown back onto the roller coaster with the loop-de-loops, the ups and downs, and then getting spit back off. Like, honestly, that is truly what it feels like. But it's necessary.
Absolutely.
And the tears, the sad tears will stop, and the happy tears will start.
Yeah.
I'm noticing for me that once in a while when I cry, now I'm crying happy tears. I'm actually relieved. I'm not empty and so dejected anymore. I'm like, now I get this. This is incredibly difficult, but I get why I had to be this way, and I get why it has to be that way. Other little blessings I'm so much more grateful for.
Absolutely.
It's incredible. Again, I did this with you tonight, and hopefully we can do further collaborations about this, because I think this is helping a lot of people.
Absolutely. I mean, the comments, I do see that you guys have been enlightened. I really appreciate it. And the conversation we had off camera was insane and incredibly healing. Things I also needed to hear. We're all growing. Yeah. We're all healing every day.
I see. Exactly, and I see the comments. It's so easy to blame your twin. I get it. I blame my twin. Guess what? My twin was blaming me. My twin is still blaming me. It's finger pointing, because you're taking the responsibility off of yourself and putting it onto someone else, because again, it comes down to fear. I think people are afraid that they know that they have to do this work, and by any stretch of the imagination, but they don't have a choice. So I always say it's like walking through a fire.
Oh boy, yeah.
With this, you have to do it several times, but if you've gone different stages to elevate, and you've done it a few different times, guess what? It starts to get a little bit easier. It starts to make
no. My phone's dying.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
For a while. It's trying.
Oh no.
I'm resilient.
Listen, Lisa, it was wonderful to have you. Hold on. Both phones are dying. I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, it's okay.
This was very, very educational, very awesome. I'm gonna upload this to, it's already uploading to YouTube, but I'll, thank you so much everyone for being here. Alright, but I guess for now, thank you so much you guys for being